I have a sister that's 6 years older than me. My parents for years have canceled on me last minute because of my sister. I have a basketball game. Oops, sorry, sister doesn't feel like going out. I'm graduating. Oops, sorry, sister had a bad day at work. They have missed both major and smaller events in my life because of her meltdowns. I met the love of my life. We decided to tie the knot. From the beginning, I told my parents how I was worried my sister would ruin another special moment in my life. My mom told me over and over again it would not happen. The day of my wedding, I received a voicemail from my mom saying they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick and she was upset. I was hurt. My best man, however, is a jokester. He took my phone, then went to my fiancée and asked if he could post a video of our wedding as a gift on social media. She loved his idea. I had no idea about it until I came home. Our honeymoon was at a lakeside cabin with no cell service. The post caption was, "My best friend. He is an amazing person even if his parents never showed up for him." The video was still pictures of us next to her parents. Me on the dance floor, cutting the cake, where you would normally see both parents in wedding pictures. The sound behind the video was my mom's voicemail explaining how they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick. I came home a week later to hundreds of messages. Family members from both sides insisting I take it down. I was told my sister hasn't stopped crying. My mom is refusing to leave the house. I may be the asshole here. I didn't take it down when I got my messages. I didn't call my family back right away. I waited until my vacation time was over at work and enjoyed my time with my wife in our new home before I contacted anyone. My dad told me to take down the video. It was just a bad night for them, that they will make it up to me and my wife for not coming. My reply was, "Exactly how do you plan to make up my wedding? It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You chose to ignore my feelings on the whole matter." Then he just repeated he will make it up to me. I told him I would take down the video only when he made up missing my wedding. Flustered, we both hung up the phone before we both said things we shouldn't have. Am I the asshole here? I could have just taken down the video. For my wedding day, we rented a hotel suite in the city. I paid for hair and makeup for all my bridesmaids, and as a courtesy, I also paid for my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. I'm not close to my sister-in-law, but she's very close to my husband, so I included her. On the morning of the wedding, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law arrived late because my sister-in-law and her husband had been on a beach trip. When they arrived, my sister-in-law brought her husband into the suite with his clothes to get ready for the wedding later, which surprised me because she didn't mention anything about bringing him with her. 3 of them sat on the couch, and her husband stayed there on his phone. I texted my husband, asking if he was supposed to stay and get dressed there. He didn't know either. I told him this was meant to be a women-only space, since all of us were wearing robes that open easily and our underwear was visible. I asked my husband to tell his sister that her husband could wait in the hotel lobby, but she refused. She was also against the idea of him driving back alone to our house to get ready with my husband and groomsmen, because she didn't want to risk him getting lost. He's from Puerto Rico. We're from the Dominican Republic, and he has traveled around the DR many times on his own. She got upset and tried to leave, but the hair and makeup artists convinced her to come back, since it was already paid for. She got her hair and makeup done, and then all 3 of them left anyway and waited in the lobby. They even ended up getting dressed in the lobby bathroom, even though my mother-in-law and sister-in-law were allowed to stay in the suite if they wanted to. My mother told me privately that she thought it was rude to bring a man into a room where only women were getting ready. Am I the asshole for not allowing him to stay there? Was I being inflexible? She was clearly very upset about the whole thing, and I understand maybe she didn't want to have him sit alone for hours in the lobby while we were getting ready, but I didn't know what else to do. I'm a 27-year-old woman, and I live with my husband who's 31. We've been married about 1.5 years. Overall, things are good, but we're still figuring out boundaries, especially around our stuff. I collect Hello Kitty and Sanrio items. Nothing extreme, but I have a small display shelf in the living room and a few related things on the bookshelf. Most of it is stuff I've picked up over the years. I fell in love with Hello Kitty as a kid when I lived in Japan, and after my family moved to the US, I stopped seeing it around. So collecting it now feels a little nostalgic. Last year, I went back to Japan to visit my grandparents and found these really nice Sanrio coloring books. They're not like the cheap kids' ones at the store. The paper is thicker. The art is really detailed, and I bought them more as nostalgic collectibles than something for random kids to use. This past weekend, we babysat his niece, she's 6, while his sister was out of town. I was working from my home office, so he handled most of the childcare during the daytime. Yesterday, on my lunch break, I saw her looking at my shelf. She asked if she could touch some of the figures, and I said yes, as long as she was very careful and put them back. I assumed she meant the ones she could already reach, just the figures she was asking about at that exact moment. Later, I came out to grab a snack and saw her coloring at the table. At first, I thought it was a normal coloring book, but then I realized it was one of the ones I brought back from Japan, from my Hello Kitty shelf. I didn't want to upset her, but I thought I set pretty clear guidelines, and 6 seems old enough to understand that to me. I could be wrong. So I just said, maybe we can find another book for you to color in. She was really into it, and my husband laughed and said we should just let her keep it since she'd already started coloring in it. I quietly told him I'd rather not, and that we could easily buy her a different book. He brushed it off and said I was overthinking it. I didn't want to argue in front of her, so I dropped it. That night, after she went to sleep, I saw he had packed the coloring book into her backpack. That bothered me, because it felt like he'd decided to give away something of mine without asking. So I took it out and shoved it under a couch cushion. I know it seems so dramatic, but I just knew if I put it back on the shelf, it would wind up back in her bag. Next morning, she had a meltdown looking for it. Crying, screaming. Meltdown? We explained when her mother came that she had lost a coloring book we gave her. After they left, I put it back on the shelf. He said he was really disappointed in me, said I was being petty and childish and should have let her keep it. I told him it wasn't about the price. It was about the fact that it was something I brought back from Japan and part of my collection. And he gave it away without asking. Now things are tense, and I'm wondering if I overreacted by taking it back.